What's up, user here? I'm going to expand upon my RPO. I'm just going to call this V2, my RPO offense. Now, I'm running this out of gun H slot. I want to show you some new looks with some quarterback run included, and I'm also going to give you guys a couple of gameplay, some new RPO plays from the dual running back offense. So specifically what we're looking at here, this could be any of the RPO plays. We're going to analyze a couple things here in these plays. First of all, we're going to look at the defense. The read guy, I've learned, doesn't really matter. What we're looking at here, if we're going to try to run the ball, is do we have a numbers advantage on this side or this side? Madden shows you a nice clean cut, left and right. As you can see here, we have a nose, so we'll just count this nose in on both sides of the ball. Luckily, we have the hash marks here, so we're looking at a let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4 to this one side, 1, 2, 3, 4, technically maybe 5 to the other side. So in this instance, the RPO is going to come underneath. So you're going to get halfback dive with an extra blocker here, counting number 20. Now normally what happens here is you're going to get the RPO to play out. If you hand the ball off, you're going to get your nice run lane there. Here specifically with the quarterback, you could see I'm able to step up and basically turn this into a run downfield. It spreads like the Red Sea here. There's no man coverage assignment, it looks like. So this is a zone coverage, and basically they don't account for the quarterback running in these instances. Now I do have a couple examples on sort of how I set this up, so I want to show you guys a couple of different ways to kind of utilize the running back in the quarterback in this instance. Now this is an instance at the goal line where I'm going to basically use my quarterback here, Josh Allen, as a battering ram. Another thing that you can utilize, instead of using R1 here, my fullback is the motion man to get a read. You can use this slot player, so I'm going to do that here on this play. As you can see, they follow through, so you're going to get a extra defender on this side of the box. So the reason why I pull it here is because I'm hoping this player will come through underneath and I could quarterback run here, but that sort of breaks down on this play. For some reason, my running back, it's kind of unpredictable. He goes over here to pick a block up, but you can see it does give you two nice wide open run lanes there to kind of step up and try to get into the end zone with. We're going to use the same logic here in this instance, and as you can tell, the running back is going to go to the right. If we're going to pull, it's usually going to be this side. So here's our read man, and as you can see, based off of this alignment, we have a pretty stacked box here. If we're going to split this down the middle of the center, we have two players here, which, we're going to have three blockers, so we're just going to hand this one off. Now you can see he does get contacted there and breaks the tackle. This really never happens, and this was a really awesome play by the defensive tackle, but given the ability to overstack that side of the offensive line, 20 can get out here and start lead blocking. It kind of gives you a really nice, easy setup for the run game. Now we're looking at a 2nd and 6. This is an instance where I really wanted to actually throw the ball here just to give you a preview of the routes. This is usually an out route. I'll extend that down the field. This is my dump off valve in a zone situation. As you can see here, we're going to press X, keep the ball. We get a nice big pocket to throw out of. Doesn't really develop well. It also gives you the opportunity, since they send a blitz, there's no one in the middle of the field really paying attention to the quarterback. So if you have a guy with enough speed to be able to run some of the stuff outside the pocket, you can definitely do a lot of damage in the pass game improvising with your legs. This is another quick instance of using the R1, the up back, to motion to create an offset look. So we're going to motion, and this is actually MPL. So this guy's going to audible here, and as you can see, we get a super duper overstacked box here because of that, which is going to really give us numbers advantage on the left side of the line here. So in this instance, we're just going to simply just hand this off and take exactly what the defense is going to give us on this play. This is another instance of MPL where I'm going to use motion with R1 to basically give me a read on the defense, to also try to understand exactly where the box is going to get stacked. So in this instance, we have a user who's basically using middle linebacker. he's going to follow this motion out here to basically make sure there's no shenanigans happening. This could be a screen, a quick hitter with R1. He wants to jump that. The good thing about that is when this guy vacates, we can now do handoff, and we have kind of even the playing field here as far as numbers and creating cutback lanes. So you'll see here, he's able to, I'm able to get the user out of the box and set up some in between, you know, the tackles, some A and B gap type of stuff to get upfield and give me some like really easy rush yards in between. So just like my other RPO video, we're going to be looking at RPO plays that are sort of newish, I haven't covered before, out of the two-back playbook. They're basically the same RPO plays, but now you're going to get a situation with a dual running back. So if you're somebody who has a 2 running back system and you want to be able to give the ball to both players, I really love this play. This gives you the opportunity to not only run RPO, and now you basically have a lead blocker here to basically help get downfield, but when you pull this for the pass game, you could set up a drag here with the running back, basically coming as your second or third read in the progression here. I would normally turn this player into a deeper route, or you could do something where you could set his X up to basically become a slant and kind of set up a natural pick here in the middle of field, almost like a mesh concept. So what we're going to get here, again, I'm going to split the box in half. It looks like we're going to have a numbers advantage better on this side of the field, so we're going to run the ball here with this play. And what that does set up here is you're going to get your lead blocker now is going to be your fullback. I get really good interior push here, and if I do decide to cut this back or something, it gives me a few different lanes here. If this linebacker maybe over pursues, or he's in man coverage and maybe runs or something off screen here, gives you a lot of options here with the quarterback as well to be able to pull that down and make a play with your feet. Now RPO Tornado is basically the same play we just covered with the Blizzard out of the two-back RPO system, and what you're going to be able to do is basically set up, it's a similar route, it's basically like a play action with a drag underneath. Now these two players are prone to run these guys off the field, which is totally fine. So what normally will happen with this play is you'll get something like this where the drag will basically undercut anything zone wise. So if these zones clear out and carry these routes downfield, this R1 is going to run itself wide open, or even in the instance of a man beater, I can show you that in 1 second. Now out of the Blizzard or the Tornado play, you can set something up like this. Now why I'm choosing this route, it's basically the slant route, and we're going to basically create a double pick here. We're going to run a ton of bodies through when you get the man coverage stuff, and R1 will run itself naturally wide open. So I'll show you how to set that up here. So we're looking at this play, we're going to motion this circle player in and switch him to a slant route. You're going to get a delay come through, and R1 usually runs itself wide open. Now against some of the other coverages in the game, you'll be able to see this linebacker makes an insane play on this, but once he gets a clean release, he's able to come screaming across the field here. Now you can see these two players are trying to cover X and circle, so they're going to basically get picked out of the way. But R1 usually will run itself clear. This linebacker just makes an incredible play. So this is a really good, almost like a mesh concept, man beater that you can kind of form up between the Tornado and the Blizzard RPO. This is RPO Dreto, I think it's referred to. This is probably the most worthless play of them all. This route is very difficult to hit. I would recommend basically if you're gonna utilize this play at all, you almost have to roll out to your left to get a completion. If you're gonna stand in the pocket and try to throw this pass, you're basically gonna take a sack every time. So rolling out to your left is probably your best bet. Again, this route's not terrible. It does give you a nice little man beater here underneath. It's a quick little hitter if you want to get a couple yards on first down. Now the next RPO play we're going to be looking at here is Cyclone out of the two-back. I'll explain this play. Basically, most of the RPO plays, they don't work unless you tweak them, which is kind of why I'm even making this video to kind of follow up my original. You cannot throw this R1 route confidently. You're going to have to change it to make this play work. Now, there are a few tweaks that you can make here. As you can see here on this play, I'm turning R1 into a corner route. So what you're going to get is sort of like a lesser of a dagger route. You're going to get this clear out here with square. They're probably in a man-to-man in this situation, so I'm going to be able to run R1 through here. And if it's some sort of blitz or something, he should be able to clear out and basically run himself wide open. Now, I barely got that throw off, but you can see here, once he makes it through all this junk, he's able to basically clear out and run and basically get himself wide open here. I'm going to run the same concept here again. I'm just looking to see here. I'm running a double post out of this and just experimenting a little bit with some motion here. So that changes the read guy. Now, in a lot of these situations, again, if you count the box up, here's a situation where maybe I'm going to pull it as the quarterback. Yep, okay, so I did pull it as the quarterback because the numbers here pre-snap are there. So utilizing these tools, you're able to get a ton of matchup mismatch stuff here pre-snap, and just based off of the RPO, if you think about it a little differently than the regular RPO that you're given from like an NCAA or like Madden, you can utilize these tools. It's just a little bit different in its application.